friend from Hong Kong sent a WhatsApp message to me addressed to Nancy Pelosi and San Franciscans that is apparently circulating and popular in Hong Kong. Here's a few quotes. We, the ordinary citizens of Hong Kong, are under siege by terrorists like Mr. Joshua Wong and his accomplices who are spreading fear and hatred throughout our city. Please ask yourself, how would you respond? Would you call them pro-democracy and peaceful protesters against the government? Or would your government use whatever force necessary, including deploying the National Guard, to quell the violence and protect innocent civilians?
My short talk tonight is based on a much more comprehensive article, The Hong Kong Protest and Imperialism, What the Corporate Media Isn't Saying, by Sheila Shao, which can be found at liberationschool.org. There is, by the way, not a, quote, Saudi Arabia Human Rights and Democracy Act before Congress, despite the fact that there has never been an election in Saudi Arabia. It's a brutal police state ruled over by a ruling family where the people have no rights whatsoever. So that tells us what the real motivation is. The aim of the United States is to defeat China as a global power. This is the context for what is taking place in Hong Kong today. To break it up and to return it back to a subordinated state through regime change. The consequences of this would be devastating for the Chinese population and the people of the world.
My perspective of the Hong Kong protest, however, is different for three reasons. One, I see more violence by the demonstrators than by the police. Two, the collective rationale strikes me as more protests against socialism than against human rights violation or any form of brutal oppression by the state. And three, the duration of the large demonstrations, the violence and calculated destruction of public property suggests covert intervention by intelligence organizations of foreign powers that have large budgets and a long, shameful history of direct military intervention, subversion, and destabilization of governments they regard as enemies. I believe teachers and unionists should be the brains and conscience of society. We should teach by word and deed that the people of this country are neither better nor worse than the rest of humanity, and that our individual and national survival inevitably depends on our respect for human rights and our ongoing struggles for social and economic justice for all the people in this country and the world. Our country has no right to intervene in the Hong Kong protests. We have a geopolitical and moral obligation to support a peaceful diplomatic solution and economic reforms that will improve the lives of the working people of Hong Kong.
And I think this is the one that's important to us. She's meeting with them openly in a hotel in Hong Kong at the height of these demonstrations. Now, I know if somebody from the Chinese consulate in New York had met with the demonstrators during Occupy Wall Street, there would have been hell to pay. Those are my tax dollars at work. I don't approve of that. That's interventionism. Also, another indication of interference is a man named Jimmy Lai. So here he is at the time of the demonstrations meeting with Mike Pence, the vice president. And the next slide shows he's also meeting here with a lovable John Bolton. And it's very clear what this is meant to say. It's meant to say that we at the top echelons of the United States are backing these protests, and China better watch out, and the protesters can feel confident that we're behind them. Let us hope that we can replace the old hegemonic neo-colonial order with a multipolar structure of peace. It's possible, but we in the United States have to be a big part of that.
嗱，你就咁睇呢個法案呢，表面呢嚇，就好似係好幫助我哋嗰啲香港嘅人民得到民主、得到自由。但係其實呢，你再睇深一層呢，佢並不如是。點解呢？香港都唔使佢幫助民主啫，香港亦都唔使佢幫助自由啊。 香港啲自由民主都多過我哋美國人嘅。你知唔知香港係排幾多啊？由第3，美國排幾多啊？你估17 ，OK？ 而美國咧喺香港投資啦嚇，係佢最大嘅投，即係其中一個。咁如果真係你話美國話，我哋而家喺嗰啲貿易商業嗰度要懲罰你，我哋唔再同你交易啦，邊個輸啊？唔係香港輸喎，係美國輸喎。但而家見到我哋嘅國家咁嘅做法，我哋要即出嚟出聲㗎。我哋要反對呢個 HR 3289嘅提案。
我哋作為中國人，亦都好關心香港。我哋亦都好希望香港廣大市民能夠回歸到理性，回歸到我哋嘅法治之下。因為而家嗰種暴力嘅行動呢，就嚴重咁撕裂咗香港嘅社會，亦都破壞咗香港嘅法治，更加打擊咗香港嘅經濟發展。仲有最嚴重一點呢，就係毒害咗香港嘅青少年嘅下一代，嗰個即係遺毒非常之深遠。就希望香港人民回復到理智合理嘅方式上去，但係我哋亦都反對，因為任何一切外國嘅勢力去用其他各種方式嚟干預香港嘅政府嘅一個施政。交俾咁時間我。